So hi everyone, David Lomman here talking on to Gary Ho, who I'm interviewing today on behalf of Complete Men TV. Gary started with a men's group at Coomera back in May last year, which was 2018 of course, and he left at Christmas time to start a new career, new job, new life down in Sydney. So at Salacia Waters here, it's a beautiful place. We're in the marina area. And just up the road's a little cafe where we're going to later just to have a drink and wet our whistle a little bit. So I'm really pleased to have Gary here. He's come back, and during this 2 days that he's back on the Gold Coast, he's actually come to our men's group, and he's come here and volunteered himself to be interviewed. So very many thanks to Gary. Thank you, Gary, once again. Thank you. Hi, David Lomman here, and today I'm interviewing Gary Ho. Gary started in men's group last year in about May, and then he moved to Sydney in about December. So for the purpose of this, it's more about finding out what brought Gary to the men's group and what he's been doing since he left in December and how that's impacting his life. So welcome, Gary.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you back again. And just tell us a little bit about how you were travelling when you came to Coomera Men's Group back in May last year.
When I first started the men's group, I was in a severe depression and anxiety, a bit suicidal at that. Work wasn't going too well. I was struggling at work. I'm a safety manager, and my marriage was struggling as well. I had a car accident about 3 or 4 years earlier, and I had post-concussion syndrome, and the depression led on from that. I also had a bad back and various medical issues that hadn't quite been resolved. So once I left where I was working, I was at a loss, made redundant, and then I decided that I needed help. So I joined men's group.
Fantastic. And how did you find that when you first came to men's group? A bit scary?
Very daunting.
Very daunting?
That first night is very daunting.
Yeah.
And you think, what am I doing? And it's very scary.
And once you got through that first night, when you met the guys and you were welcomed there, what was that like for you?
A relief.
Right.
A relief to meet people, to meet new guys, to meet new friends, to start again.
Okay. Fantastic. And we've just got some more questions for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. And from your experience, Gary, it would be 3 things that you think would have made your entry into men's work a little easier. What would they be?
I think the knowledge that there is support out there.
Yeah.
When I joined, I didn't realise just how much support there was.
Yes.
And I think that the ability to be true to yourself and be honest, and to be able to let it all out in a forum, that really helps. It does help. And once you let it out, you start growing.
And that's what you found, that when you could talk about what you'd been through and what you were going through, that was making it easier for you to get those words out?
Definitely. The more I did it, the better I became being honest with myself.
Okay. And how did that feel with you? You know, how did that fit with you to be able to speak the words you were speaking at that time?
It helped my depression lift. It helped me move on in life. It helped me become who I am today.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, and was there anything else that you feel that would benefit men to know if they're just starting in men's work or they're just about to go into it?
Don't be scared. Just go there, be yourself. You're going to be accepted who you are. And the rest will come naturally. You'll allow yourself to be honest with yourself and start opening up. You're not pressured.
Okay.
There is no pressure to open up until you're ready.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, that we make it a place where anybody can come in without putting pressure on them to perform or have to do something a certain way or anything else beyond the protocols, you know, that we just run the meeting by to make it safe for everybody.
And safety is a key word. You feel safe. You feel reassured that nothing's going to go outside those walls.
And Gary, is there anything you would do differently if you were starting over now? I know we sort of covered that before, but what else would you do differently if there was anything you would?
I would have gone sooner.
Okay.
I would have got the support that I needed sooner in life. and it may have been a different outcome, but I would have been a lot happier sooner than what I was.
So ideally, would you have gone back to when you had your accident, when you were coming out of that, where the depression was coming from? And do you feel that that would have been a good starting point for you?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
If I'd have got the help, the support then, I may have got through that a lot quicker.
Okay.
But I chose not to. I chose to hide it, and I chose to deal with it on my own and not get any help.
Well, the other thing is, from what I understand of your story, you also didn't know that the men's group was there.
Exactly right.
I mean, and if we're not out there broadcasting that we're there for men who are in a similar position to you, how will they know?
Exactly right. It's not out there in the community that there is help from you and support.
Yeah.
It used to be frowned upon, now it's more acceptable.
Yes. And we're finding that with the people who come along to men's group as well.
Yeah.
So that's really important.
It is.
So thanks for that. And Gary, what would you say is the number one reason why you stay involved in men's work? Because you've now got deeply involved in men's work. You've taken what you were going through and learned up at Coomera, and now you've become even more involved. So what's the number one reason why you stay involved in that way?
Being part of a community helps you out with a support network. If you're having any issues, someone is always there to help you out. Someone is always there to listen. From my learnings, I'm able to teach, not teach, but support a lot of other men. Simply, support is out there really. And I'm finding I'm getting a lot of people in my community getting a lot of support. A lot of isolated guys out there. And they need to help them help themselves.
Yeah.
And I get every bit of support that I need in our networks.
Fantastic. And have you found that, because you transitioned from Coomera down to Sydney, you didn't have any support network, you had to find it for yourself. Was it difficult to find for yourself?
By the second day, I found a new men's group down there. They accepted me into that group straight away. By the first hour, I had an invitation for Christmas dinner.
Fantastic.
Because I was on my own. Because that is what these networks are like.
Yeah. Brilliant. So for you, Gary, and personally for you and other men you've seen, what have been the benefits of being involved in men's work?
To be yourself. To have that permission to be yourself. When I first started that men's work, I was married. I separated from my wife, I came out as gay, and then I became myself. The support from the men's groups did not change. They accepted me for who I am and what I do in life, on my journey. And I became happy along the way with the support from the men's group. I was depressed when I first came, and now I'm happy, and that's predominantly because the support network.
Yeah. And for other men that you've introduced to the groups, what have you seen for yourself personally, the changes in them?
Growth. Again, they're going through their own journeys, being marriage breakups, job losses, finance issues. But they get that support, they get that friendship, like camaraderie. And knowledge that someone is always there to support them. They're not told what to do, but they're supported in their journey. And we all get to make our own decisions.
Great.
With that support.
Great. And you found that across all of the areas where you've been, the Coomera group, the Sydney group, the other group you've started, you found that to be the same pretty well across all groups? That when men reach out, there's someone there to actually receive them and accept them?
Yeah,
basically.
They can reach out, and I make a policy of being available for them if they need me, even by phone, by text, by email.
Yeah.
And I support them the best way I can. I don't tell them what to do. If I need to refer them, I can.
Yes.
But I'm always there to listen.
Yeah.
And that is the main skill.
And I think that's the same up here with Complete Men, is that, first point of entry is Tim, and at the moment we also have Dom coming in as well to take over those phone calls and to make sure that anybody who calls up gets a call back and is heard, basically, and either referred somewhere else, it might be Men's Shed or something else, but they are directed to an area which is going to be of support to them.
Exactly right. It's the support that is so important, and they may not be ready to come to a group. They may need a psychologist appointment first, or a men's shed, or even just some other support.
Yeah.
Until they're ready.
Yeah, and it's only by talking to them, isn't it? It's only by them picking up the phone and actually calling that the contact is made.
Yeah, and that's the hardest phone call to make.
That is the thing. It's like, am I going to be received? Am I going to be heard? Am I going to be welcomed?
Yeah.
Because they just don't know.
Exactly right. And I made a point of putting onto my own group, but it's a bit of my own story, and I'm getting a great response. It's starting to open up, and it's starting to say that I need support, but I'm not ready.
Yeah.
But that first step is the hardest.
Fantastic. Thanks, Gary. And Gary, what keeps you going when things get difficult? And what have you seen other men, what keeps them going when things get difficult? Because change is inevitable.
It is. What I found is if men don't go to a group for a period of time, they feel like they're missing out. If they go to the group, they get that support network. What I do, I try to go to a group as much as I possibly can once a week. If I don't, I reach out. Reach out on Sydney, they got a WhatsApp group. You can reach out and you get that support. You may get a phone call. Reaching out is the hardest thing to do again, to ask for help. I also make sure that I reach out to help those that are struggling. Be available for that phone call.
Yeah.
And I find ways to make myself feel good. It could be a walk, it could be music, and I find that really helps if I'm having a tough time.
Yeah.
I've gone through a few tough times in Sydney. I went down there with nothing, started with 6-week work, no friends, no family. I've established myself down, I've put myself out there to try and make a better life. So I joined groups, I got exercise, got out there. That's what got me through.
Yeah, and you were explaining the other night that you've lost weight, you're fitter, you've had some health challenges, all of those sort of things that would normally perhaps bring you down, that you've been able to bounce forward from and get your life back on track again. Is that how it is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I made a conscious choice. After moving down there, because I've had support from up here, I made a choice that I was going to be happy. Money wasn't an issue because it didn't matter. I got out in the community, I helped people, I joined walking groups, I joined gay groups. I became me.
Yes.
And bit by bit, I became happy, I lost weight, I started a relationship, I joined Mr. Perfect, and I continue to help out the community because it helps myself and it helps a lot of others.
Yes. No, that's very understandable. And just to close, is there any message you would have for any man out there who's considering joining a men's group? What would you say to them?
Do it. The best thing I ever did was join a men's group. It saved my life. Very simple. I may not be here today unless I had to go through this journey with the support. I was in a real bad way. I'm happy now, but I'm really, really happy in life now.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and thank you for your words.
No worries.